Alright, what's poppin'? Rolling back in with episode 6 of the Zer0 Gamers with myself and Tylenol. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. How are you? How was Voidathon? You just over.
It's over. We are back in the it's almost Voidathon state.
It's almost Voidathon.
Yeah, dude. How was Voidathon? It was challenging this year, more so than the previous years. Like I've said it to like a lot of people, and like I've said it to like a lot, like pretty often at this point, that like this year I've had more tech issues than in the last 3 years combined.
Yeah,
so that was pretty draining.
I wasn't there for a lot of it just because of how busy of a week I had. I was there for like my run, and I hopped in when I could.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing something about Glan having internet issues. I remember like. I think the stream may have cut out once or something. I'm not 100% sure about that. Like, you could obviously, go into that detail regarding that. But...
Yeah. Well, okay. So, like, first off, Glan's internet. Poor Glan was like out of internet starting from not last Saturday, but the Saturday before that. It was like the Saturday right before Voidathon, and he had a run on this Sunday. So like the next day. So I was okay. So I guess we're gonna move the run to like a later day. So we ended up moving his run to Tuesday, and by Tuesday he still didn't have internet. And so I was like, well, like let me like look at the schedule again and like see if we can figure out something. And I ended up putting his run as the first run on Saturday, which was last Saturday, which was the last day of Voidathon. So I put his run at that point, beginning of Saturday, and he still did not have internet by then. So my man Glan went a whole ass week without internet.
I would die.
Yeah, I think he was dying. Yeah. Imagine like being forced to log off.
Oh no, anything but that.
Yeah, exactly. And the funniest thing of all of that story is that, okay, so like I was like, if you don't have internet by like Saturday, we're still like gonna do something related to TTYD. So I was like, I pulled up one of his runs that he did on stream like right before he lost internet, and I was like, okay, we're gonna watch that and we're gonna have you on commentary. Because
on his phone.
Yeah, on his phone. Yeah, because he was able to do that from like his phone data or whatever. He could not watch the stream, but he could at least like commentate. And we did that. An hour and a half into said playback of the run, his internet returns.
That's insane.
It's like oh, okay, so I guess Glan just wasn't due to do Voidathon this year.
Yeah, like bad ISPs, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it could have been a lot of things, right? But
it was actually a storm. Like, we were hit by a storm pretty hard in Canada from the Saturday night to the Sunday, like, early ass morning.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
So yeah, like I think Glan ended up losing internet. I think it was like in the middle of the night. Over here, like me at home, I only like very briefly lost it, but I had a friend who lost it for like over 24 hours, and he like doesn't live very far away from where I am. So
I guess consider yourself lucky, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It could have been so much worse.
Yeah, if I was the one without power or internet for a week, then it was just like, okay, that's nothing I can do, man. Like.
Yeah, at that point, I guess you just have to like delay the whole event, right, or something like that.
Yeah, but like delaying the whole event would be like so tedious schedule wise, because like people's schedules maybe they don't necessarily line up with like being delayed a whole week. So like I honestly don't know what I would have done.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know.
Thankfully, don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. we don't have to think about it. Thankfully. But yeah, so there was that, and there was also, like you mentioned, the stream cutting. Like, it did like a couple times. Like I got like this, like when you watch streams on Twitch and you get like this weird, like 1000 like bug or whatever, and it says that like the game feed just dies or whatever. Like I've gotten that like so many times, and people have told me that they also gotten that so many times. And when they get that, like the viewers on the stream, they don't count as viewers anymore. So like you end up like going from like 130 viewers or whatever to like 85, and it's like Pretty
Yeah,
frustrating.
that was happening on my stream. Like when I would stream like multiple times. I remember like going back and checking, and there's just like a dip like in like my average year or whatever, and I'm just like, what happened? And I go back and look, and I see that the Twitch VOD is literally split up into two like 2 hour segments or whatever. It just did it like randomly. I'm like, what's going on, man?
Yup.
Like,
Yup.
so I think that's on Twitch's end for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, did you have like a run that you saw for the first time at Voidathon that like really like stood out to you that you were like, oh wow, this is like sick. I didn't know about this or
Well,
whatever.
maybe not like sick per se, but like in terms of like just being blown away by like what the game is and how it exists. Conquer's Bad for a Day.
I've played that game. I
Yeah,
love that
yeah.
game.
So the only thing I knew about that game was the Mighty Pooh fight, because like everyone knows about that. But like, dude, this game goes hard. Like, holy shit.
It was like somebody said this a while ago. It's like the people of Rare like making like Banjo and stuff. Like this is just like what they did, like just all uncensored, just like threw it all in just a one game.
Yeah, exactly. They just went hard in the paint.
Yeah, for real.
But
yeah, that game is crazy, man. And like, who did the run? Was it Darkness that did a run, or
yeah,
was it
Whole
somebody
Darkness.
else? Okay, yeah. I've watched Darkness do runs a good bit for a while now. And I remember like one of the things that like really stood out to me. I didn't get to catch the run unfortunately, but I remember one thing that stood out to me. That run was like in the very end of the game. There's like a spot where like you can soft lock like so easily. Like the game can just like crash or whatever. At least on the N64 version. I'm not sure which version Darkness was doing the run on.
Yeah, he played on Xbox.
Oh, the Xbox version.
Yeah, because apparently it saves a billion in lag and loads, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But just like there's a part where like there are catfish that I think you need to like either rescue or escort, and like there's like this bulldog shark, and like the fucking cutscene where the bulldog shark just fucking mauls the catfish. I was like, what the fuck am I watching now?
It's an M for mature game, that's for sure.
Yeah, M for mature. Yeah, it's like okay, the literal like poop boss is probably the most tame thing in that game.
As crazy as it is to say, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And playthrough soon, right? Playthrough soon?
I mean, I did get an N64 EverDrive recently.
Yo, eyes emoji?
Eyes emoji, yeah. The plan is to do a pay rando at some point, because I made that a sub goal. So I want to do that, and then after that, I might explore some casual games that may or may not include Conquer.
Let's go.
But yeah, I was told that also like that game is impossible to play. Like the controls are ass, and like Hollow Darkness made it look so easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely weird. I mean, I only played it on the N64 version, like growing up. But like, yeah, it's very like. I think it's just like when you feel like when you're controlling a character and some stuff is kind of like not out of your control, but just kind of like clunky or a little awkward in certain places when you're trying to do like 3D platforming stuff. It can be a little weird and like. To like handle, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just from like getting from one point to another, and it's
definitely. But
good.
Oh, I was gonna say that's probably like my breakout run of the event. Like going into that game and knowing like close to nothing about it, like I was just like, holy shit. If I don't lose partner from Twitch by like having this game on Vodathon, like I know I'm good.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, did I have like other really good like runs that I was like happy with? There was like Oglib's run. Oglib's run was also like really funny. The Jungle no Uja Tarchan. That run was also pretty funny. It's like a SNES game based on an anime, based on a manga, based on the story of Tarzan.
I see a lot of connections here. I've never heard of that game. When you said it, I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, You should look it up. That's all I'll say about
I
it.
definitely, yeah, I'm kind of a fiend with like looking up random games on speedrun.com. I just am like, oh, look at this game, look at this leaderboard. I'm like, oh, let me look at the run, and like I just I just want to check it all out, you know?
Yeah, the curiosity of the
Yeah.
leaderboards.
That's one thing that I will say that I do really like about speedrun.com is just how easy it is to just check out a game and just look at the board and look at like a bunch of runs and just see who runs things. Because sometimes I do just see people run a game and I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Like I like kind of like maybe not know the person, but like I recognize the name.
You recognize the name, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, look at that, they run this game too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy. I didn't know that. What was it? That one game, that SPD's been running it lately. Gimmick, I think.
Yeah. SBD recently picked that up.
Yeah, I like saw like I looked at the boards for that and I just saw like a bunch of people that ran it. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't know all these people ran this game.
Yep.
That's
I mean, you
cool.
probably knew that Ryan ran Gimmick.
Yeah, I knew
right?
Ryan ran it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan also picked it up recently, but like Becca ran Gimmick. Like
Yeah.
Becca also like runs a bunch of Mega Man games, and he's a god at those. And like I'm pretty sure I don't know if like Cypher's name is still on like the leaderboards, but like Cypher used to run Gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the names that I was talking about.
Oh yeah,
Cypher specifically. I was just like, oh, I didn't know they ran this game.
There you go. Cool. Yeah.
But yeah, so for my Voidathon experience, I did the trilogy relay, and I did DKC one for those who don't know, all stages. And I was like pretty nervous about it. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like going into it, I was just like, oh man, I was like thinking of just I don't know what it is, like when I'm doing like, because like I've ran like, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 like a bunch as well. When I run Sonic Adventure 2 and I have to do a reset, I'm not usually that afraid of like stuff happening like in the early game, like dying in the early game or whatever, but like in DKC, I'm like, I could die to like the first enemy if I'm not like careful, you know? So like I was just like, oh, what's gonna happen or whatever. But like that morning when I woke up, I literally rolled out of bed, grabbed my phone, set it up against my TV, and just did a no reset all stages run with no warm up, and just timed it on my phone, just to kind of just see like in like in not an intense situation, but just like in a
vacuum,
me being in a vacuum, just being thrown at it, what I could do. And I got a 3310 with no tut, I think, and a death in RBR, and I was like, that's not that bad. I was like, okay, that's not too bad. I feel all right about this. But when I started the trilogy relay race, I was so tense. I remember my controller did not feel comfortable in that moment, and when that happened, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, that's how you kind of know that it's not going to be like the best performance out of yourself. And then I ended up dying in 1-2. As I think you saw.
Yeah, the one I was just like, you know, I think I was looking at what Rock was doing, and then like all of a sudden you were back, like in the corner of my eye, I saw you back on the overworld, and I was like, wait, what happened? So I'm guessing you died to the jump that like gets everyone.
Yeah, on the rope, right where the army is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that jump.
Yeah, that was exactly where it was. But yeah, the trilogy relay race was it was overall, I'm really happy that I took part in it. It was fun. Despite how like nervous I was about it. I think we had a pretty close race. It ended up being about 8 seconds apart from each other, and honestly, it was down to the wire. Like, I think like I may have had like a sizable lead going into Perils, and then I died in Perils, so like it got even closer after that point. And then I think I want to say Rock might have messed something up in Neki too, so it was just like it was very close at the start, which kind of led into like a pretty hype like remainder of the race as well.
Yeah, Rock ended up getting a fake hit on Neki 2, which brought you back into the lead.
Thing. Yeah, I see. Yeah.
But like just overall, like the World 6 between you two was a freaking roller coaster. It's like you get Bird Tut, and then like Rock comes up to Tut and he gets Creme. And then like, you know, the gap is pretty close. I think you didn't go for the SJR and Mincers.
I did actually go for it, and I failed it like I think 4 or 5 times in a row, and then
you started riding Rambi.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Rock was like he died in Mincers at first. Like he went for the SJR, but like he rolled into the pit.
Oh, I see.
So he did that, but then he re-entered and then he got it.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense now. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow, that must have been crazy. What the heck?
Yeah. And then like you had your mishap at the end of Mincer's, and then like you fumbled a bit on the SFR and Misty, and then Ronk got it properly. Okay, so by the way, like I was actually really surprised that like you knew kind of where to release B on Misty, despite like only hitting 2 idiots.
Yeah, I used to make that mistake all the time a long time ago. I used to always get 2 enemies with that SFR, so it's burned into my brain to release around the halfway.
Okay.
So like even though it's been a long time since it's happened on like pace or anything, I like still remember it just because of how often it happened to me forever ago.
Gotcha.
Ironically, if I had 3, I may have held for way too long, honestly. But like 2, I was like, yeah, that's like the halfway.
Yeah.
So that definitely helped, and I had to like leave like kind of like immediately after I finished that run, so I wasn't able to watch like too much of the rest of the trilogy relay race. But how is like DKC 2 and 3?
So DKC 2 is also pretty close between DNA and Gil. Like they went back and forth. Like I think they were like, by World 4, like by the end of World 4, they were like almost dead even with each other. And I don't exactly recall what happened late game, but like I know that DNA got a high 40 and Gil got a mid to low 41. So like they were still pretty close. Like both teams were close going into DKC 3, and then Laugh was just like, I hold my beer, and Laugh ended up busting a fucking 46-35 or something like that. Like
that is insane. A 46 at all.
Yeah.
In a race?
In a race
like,
is
what?
ridiculous.
Like I mean I kind of like figured that like Laugh being at the anchor, for we had Dumes and like they had Laugh, and I'm just like, well, Laugh is cracked as fuck, so like it's like basically I felt like what we kind of like needed to do is like have like a pretty sizable lead going into DKC 3 in order to like have a chance, just because of how good Laugh is.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of how I balance the teams out. And
yeah, that made I looked at it was funny because I shared the teams with Lovebird, and I was like, hey, like these are the teams, and they were like, this looks like extremely even.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, yeah. I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Dumes got to like even like practice and prepare for it, because I want to say he literally like filled in like at the very end.
Yeah, he did fill in. So like he had a 103 race to do on the Friday, and then like on the Friday like something ended up coming up during his run, so he had to like quit mid run, but like that's completely fine. Like he messaged me afterwards and like, everything is fine on his end and whatnot. But like at first, like I was worried that like he cut stream in the middle of the run, and I was like, wait, what's going on with Dumes? And like he just DNB, sorry, I have to cut the run, like urgent thing on my end. And I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay,
so like I assumed the worst, but like it turns out like it was not that bad. It was not that bad. Okay, it's just like he had like an appointment with his father, like regarding some stuff, but like it was just like it was no dramatic matter of any sort.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you always want to just make sure that if it is something that like in the event that it is something like that you make sure you give whoever that is as much comfort as you can. Because,
exactly.
Go take care of what you got to take care of for sure.
But yeah, like after that run, like he was like, I can still do the race tomorrow, like the relay tomorrow, and I was like, I bet. And so like. And he also had the FF7 run. He was doing an FF7 run earlier in the marathon. Oh, wow. So like, yeah, he
there.
Yep, busy as Vodathon schedule for Dodo.
Yeah, and on his birthday too.
Yeah. By the way, today is also Dumes' birthday. So
today's also his birthday.
Yeah, so we should wish him a happy birthday from the Zer0 gamers to Dumes.
From the Zer0 gamers to Dumes. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, gamer.
Oh my gosh. What was the final run for Vodathon?
It was Celeste, actually.
Oh really? Was it like any percent or?
Yeah, any percent. So I intended it to be like a fun race between friends. So it ended up being was me, Basement, Forte, K-Plugs, and Oglib. And because Forte already runs the game, he had to do 2 runs.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love the like limitation. It's like if you're playing like I don't know, like Smash with your friends and like one person actually plays like, oh, we got to do 3v1 like or something like that, you know.
Yep, exactly.
That's too funny.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
game's fun, man. I think I'll end up speedrunning it later this year.
Eyes emoji?
Eyes emoji, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I remember when you picked up Hollow Knight, I was just like, yo.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I have played Hollow Knight and beaten it, but I have not played Celeste at all yet.
Oh, you should, dude.
It is still on my desktop. It's not only on my desktop, but it's also on my Nintendo Switch. I can play it like in my bed or on my computer at any time, and I still haven't done it.
Yeah, come on, man.
Dude, I'm just like so in the sauce with speedrunning. I'm just like, oh, gotta speedrun, gotta practice.
Gotta practice. Yes, spend every breathing hour practicing jump rolls.
I gotta practice jump rolls.
Kremtut will save the run.
Kremtut will save the Celeste run too, probably, for all I know.
Yeah. What if I told you that there's a Kremtut in Celeste? No, there actually isn't. I'm just kidding.
You got me excited for nothing. What the heck, bro?
But yeah,
yeah, a big race like that, it's like a more casual thing, is always just a bunch of fun, just to be in a VC with a ton of people and just to do like a run where it's like you kind of know the game, you know, but like maybe you're not like, you know, a super try hard speedrunner or anything like that. So I think that that's like a really nice, comfy environment to kind of close off Voidathon, considering like, you know, it's all about the homies at the end.
Yeah,
of the day,
exactly,
right?
exactly. It's the friends we've made along the way.
All about the friends you made along the way.
Like the Saturday, just in general, was like before I had to move Glan's run to Saturday, I had the day open with a Yoshi's Island race once again with the homies. So like, you know, whoever wants to join the Yoshi's Island race, they can, and we ended up having to move that to I think Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't exactly remember. I think it was Tuesday. But yeah. Otherwise it would have been like that, followed by the Mario Kart block, and like that Mario Kart block ended up like being a ton of fun. Despite the stream crashing twice. Because
that was, I think, when I saw it crash, actually.
Yeah.
I tuned in around there.
Yeah, so like what was happening is like OBS was being like really difficult with like browser captures, and like whenever I was trying to like switch browser captures, it was either like taking 2 minutes to load the new browser capture, or it was crashing OBS. And I was like, man, fuck you. I'm just like gonna the two streams that are on stream right now, like I'm not gonna switch between them, because like my idea was like, if you want to take part in the Mario Kart race and like you feel like streaming it and you want to be restreamed, then like do that, and like I'll switch between streams, like between races or whatever. And like as soon as I saw OBS being difficult with browser captures, I was like, this is not gonna be possible, man. This is not gonna happen. And then like I was like both times I tried to do that, like just pushing my luck a little bit, then like the stream crashed both times, and I was like, well, okay. So that was annoying, but like overall, like I'm happy that the gamers had fun, because that's what matters at the end of the day. Like they ended up like having 11 people for the Mario Kart block, and like you can have like lobbies up to 12 people.
That's pretty dope. Like ton of people just playing some Mario Kart.
Yep.
Let's go.
So yeah, I had that, and then like, you know, of course the trilogy relay, and then the Celeste race. It was just like, yeah, the Saturday was just like scheduled in such a way that like all the I guess like the collaborative races and whatnot, like they're all there, because like and it ends Voidathon on like a really good note.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so we're gonna get a Voidathon 5.5, right, in 6 months.
5.5. Why 5.5?
The halfway point, dude. It's like when they stopped from doing AGDQ and then they did SGDQ, like so that they have 2 a year, right?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, it's funny you say that, because there have been people who have been like, hey, so when's Wintervodathon? And I'm like, dude, I'm in school right now. I can't do that.
We got to do that once we get $1 million, right?
Yeah, exactly. Once
$1 million.
Once the Roll Deep Mention is acquired, and like once I get like, you know, 2,000 subs a month, and like can afford, you know, the lifestyle, then yeah, we'll have Voidathon, Winter Voidathon. That may or may not be only like a weekend, but it would still be pretty dope. It would still be pretty dope.
Yeah, being able to just do something like that a bunch would be like pretty cool. Obviously, a lot of work, you know, and time investment, but it would be pretty dope.
Yeah,
I saw Tonkatsu was doing Tonkathon. I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah,
I don't know the
he did
details
that.
about that, but I saw the tweet and I was like, oh, yo, I think it said that was the second one. I was like, I missed the first one. Like, I'm like, dog, what the heck? I didn't
Wait,
know
so
about
the second
this.
one is happening like right now, or?
I have no idea because I didn't hit translate, you know, because he said it all in Japanese. So
Oh, okay.
I
Maybe,
just saw,
maybe he's like
the
planning
banner.
for the second one, but yeah, I remember the first one, and like I thought it was really cool. It's like very inspired by Voidathon, in fact.
That's
It's
awesome.
Like, yeah, I think it's just like he brings in like a bunch of people from like either his community or like the surrounding Japanese speedrun communities, and yeah, they do runs, and like it seems like a grand old time.
Yeah, it's like the same type of thing, just the vibe with the homies.
Yep.
And Tonkatsu, oh man, whenever I like chat and I always feel like kind of like a little weird when I go into his chat and like type in English because like his fan base is so primarily Japanese and he's like fluent in English, like he speaks like great English, like, phenomenal English. But like it's always so like I always feel like almost invasive in a way when I go in and I say an English thing and then he responds in English, but everyone in this chat is all speaking Japanese, and I'm just like, hey everyone, what's up?
It feels a little invasive, right?
Yeah. Which, you know, obviously it's like, you know, it's not that serious or whatever, but like it always just feels that way to me whenever I go there. But yeah, Tonk's the homie. I hope things go well with the second Tonkathon.
The Tonkathon, yep, for sure. And like, okay, so just like branching out real quick on like what you said about like being invasive. I do feel the same about like when people come into my stream and they like say stuff in French. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
I like reply in English to like try to cue them in. Hey, please like stick it in English here. Like,
yeah, it's like I understand people want to be like, oh, like I can speak French here, you know, or whatever. But
yeah,
like,
streamer is in French. Like streamer speaks French. Let me like speak French too.
Yeah, it can be like a thing where like I don't know. In some cases, maybe it's easier for certain people, so I can kind of get that. But like. At the same time, like, you want it to be so that the majority of the people in your stream can, like...
Follow the conversation
and feel... genuinely feel welcome. Sometimes if I'm somewhere and, like, someone's speaking a language that I don't speak or, like, understand or even have interest in, like, learning more about, then it's kind of just like, I'm kind of waiting until this is, you know, done kind of thing, you know? So it's important. Even if the streamer does speak the English or speak the language fluently, it's still just being polite. Yeah, to just stick to whatever the streamer wants. Some streamers are okay with French or English, you know, or whatever. But not everyone is. So
yeah. I'm okay with it to some extent. It's just like, you know, like if like the conversation is in English at the moment, like I've always mostly streamed in English, like. I'd prefer if like people would keep it in English, you know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, you can't speak to me in French when like when the stream is in French, which like has only happened once so far, but you know might happen in the future more often. But like it's just like
especially since Void.tv is only growing. Every day.
Yep, it is growing.
Every day the voidling count grows.
Yeah, just like the Zero Gamers, you know, what was it like? The Zero Gamerlings or whatever.
The Zero Gamerlings. That's awesome.
And speaking of Zero Gamerlings, you want to take some questions?
Yes.
All right, there you go. All right, so question from Fleedle. He says, if you were at a tourney/event for GDQ, Melee, or MTG, what is the go-to activity to unwind during the day if you and your homies have to spread out times to compete/watch?
That is a great question.
Yeah, I like that question a lot.
Oh, man. For me, it's so different depending on, like, what type of, I don't know. Okay, so one of the big differences, I'm assuming Magic is very similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! And where like round one starts, it's Swiss, right?
Yeah, Swiss.
So yeah, so for those who don't know, Swiss, it means like basically if there's 1,000 people, all 1,000 of them just get like randomly around one person, and then they play that round, and then people that are 1-0 are matched then with other people that are 1-0, and people that are 0-1 from the first round are matched with other people that are 0-1, and so on and so forth. And then eventually things get kind of weird when people get ties, or sometimes there's a not an even number of players, so someone has to play up. So like someone with a worse record will play a high record, etc. So, anyways, so that format and with how long the card game matches take is very like tedious, and usually takes about like, and Yu-Gi-Oh! It takes about an hour to finish like a round or something like that, maybe a little less, but like it's timed to be 40 minutes, but it always goes over that. For Yu-Gi-Oh! At least. So
Magic is the same. For what it's worth, it's the same.
That makes sense.
Like I think like that for completing your match in Yu-Gi-Oh, you have 40 minutes. I don't know if that's still the case.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, in Magic it's 50 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's even longer than in that case.
Yep.
And like when you're going to like a melee tournament, bruh, like a match can be over in like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
If somebody is just way better than the other person, it's just done. Like boom, like it's over. And like another thing about melee tournaments, even if you're going to the biggest melee tournament ever, you have a pool that you have to play. So you come in on Friday, your pool is at like 6 o'clock. Your pool will be done in like 2 hours. And then you don't play again until the next day. So it's like one time I went to Super Smash Con, I think it was. My pool was at 6 p.m. I could do whatever I wanted the whole day until 6 p.m. Then I play my pool, and then it's done by like 8 p.m. And then I'm like, cool, now I can do whatever I want until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like there is way more time to chill and hang out with homies at like a melee tournament or a Smash tournament at all, as opposed to a card game tournament.
Yeah.
Now, when I was at card game tournaments, oh man, it was rough because sometimes my friends would be done faster than I was, and sometimes I would be done faster than my friends. But regardless of what that was, unless my match was really, really long, which it was not always the case like that, which is kind of uncontrollable, then you basically don't have anyone to really hang out with because your friends are probably playing in the tournament. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like I would just kind of go around, look at the booths, and kind of just hang out on my like phone. Really, like there wasn't a whole lot to do at card game tournaments for me. I don't know what your experience was like, Void, but for me that was like so hard.
Yeah. The thing with card game tournaments is like either like you finish fast enough and like you just like hang out and like try to like watch your friends and see how they're doing, but like because of like the way card game tournaments are laid out, you can't. Like, they don't really allow, at least, like, some of the tournaments I've been at, like, they don't really allow, like, just, like, casual viewers to, like, stand in between, like, 2 rows of tables. Like, the judges, like, don't really like that, so they will tell you to, like, get the fuck out of there.
Yep, that's the same for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
you can't, like, go ahead.
But yeah, they don't want you to do that, so it's like, okay, so it's hard to watch, and then, like, you're all either waiting on your friends, or, like, your friends are already done, but, like, if you guys both lost, then, like, you don't really want to play like a game to like kill the time, between rounds. Like especially me, like I've always been like a fucking tryhard when it comes to card games. So, like when I lose a match, like I get like really fucking pissed, and I'm like I just want to like get into the next match and like just smash my opponent's face, like ASAP, so I can like get back to like not feeling awful about joining the tournament.
Yeah,
but,
I totally understand that.
Yeah, like yeah, aside from that, like, as far as killing time goes, like, you can't really, like, get out of the venue, like, for too long, because, like, you never know, like, once time is called at the end of the round, like, you never know, like, how long there will be between, like, that and the next round being called. So you always, like, kind of have to stick around, even, like, if going, like, the overtime part of a round, like, can go like half an hour easily.
Yeah.
Depending on like how slowly like the matches that are left to be played out go. And it's just like
yeah, exactly. In the rare event that your match does take 20 minutes or something, sometimes you can be like, oh, I can go grab food or whatever, but like most of the time, yeah, that's not really gonna be a thing. So for like Smash and for card games, that's kind of how that is. With GDQ, there's like infinite stuff to do. Like because like unless maybe if you have a run for the event, then I could kind of see it. But your run is at a time, a day, and maybe unless maybe somebody has multiple runs, which I don't think most people do.
Yeah.
Then like you're kind of there just to hang out, really. So like as far as
It's
like
a different vibe.
yeah, exactly. And what was it? It was a go-to activity to unwind during the day. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that like when I'm at GDQ, I'm just there to hang out with people.
Yeah, exactly. Like GDQ is to unwind, so
basically, yeah. So it's like, and I've never done a run for GDQ before, so I never had to deal with like the whole like, what's it called, the stress of like having to do a run, but like while also hanging out with people. But like I imagined always that like if you had a run closer to the end of the week and you were there at the beginning of the week, that like kind of being nervous about that throughout the week is maybe inevitable for certain people if they kind of just get that way with things. I know I would for sure.
So like I've had that happen. Like I've lived like through both experiences. Like having a run at GDQ like early in the week and then having a run at GDQ like later in the week. And like both times, I'm always like me like worrying and stressing over the run is not worth sacrificing my enjoyment of the event and like the time I get to have to spend with the other gamers. So like even like if I have the run like the Sunday, like I've had runs where it's like my marathon run at GDQ is the third run of the event, and it's like, okay, I'm still gonna like party and get shit faced on Saturday night. Like it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. Like I'm just like gonna show up the next day, do my run, and then like keep on. But like it's just like, to me, like it's never affected my my like runs and like the I don't want to say like professionalism, but like it's kind of applicable here. Like
I think
like
it's a fine word.
like just prepare for the run like any given time in the marathon. Like it's never really affected that. I'm just like I'm always like prioritizing hanging out with the gamers before like how good my run is gonna look, because ultimately like mistakes will happen, and like you're already like out of your comfort zone when you're doing a GDQ run. Like you're not playing on like your TV, you're not playing on your setup. Like you're having commentary, you're having a crowd watching you. It's just like the ambience is like so different, and like if you can have like a super good run in those conditions, then like first off, good for you. Second off, like I think that's super duper impressive, because I've never been able to do that myself. And like eventually, like once you've done like as many, I don't want to sound like bragging right like off the second, but like once you've done like enough, as many GDQ runs as I have, like the feeling kind of like fades off, like the feeling of like having to like perform super well at a GDQ. It's like like the time you spend with gamers is more valuable than like the like whatever you're gonna get out of your GDQ performance. I feel like, at least like for me, that's how I've always perceived it.
Yeah, and like it what you're saying makes a lot of sense, because like anything that you do, if you do it more and more and more, you get better at it. Like that is just how people work. That's how like what is it, not talent, but like that's how like improving at anything works. Like so it just makes sense. But yeah, very good question.
Thanks for the question, Fleeto. Another one from Lime. What sort of future do you imagine / wish for speedrunning generally, and also for DKC specifically? I like that.
What sort of future do you wish for? Well, I'd like people. I'm really putting myself out here right now.
All right.
I'd love it if people stopped looking at speedrunning as an equivalent to like esports. It's really not the same thing, and I don't think it'll ever be the same thing, no matter how hard anyone tries, no matter how much money or whatever people throw into something. I throw into it, it's just not going to be the same because there are too many games, too many communities, and they're of all sorts of sizes. So even if people did try to esportsize speedrunning, like, what about, somebody running that game with like 4 runners total? What about that run and this run? There's too many games. Like, you can't. It's just not possible. And the way that, like, improving, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say like grassroots, but like, I don't know. Like, the way that speedrunning sounds kind of always been. It's like people help build each other up, and that's kind of just how it is. It's not really. It's kind of competitive, of course, but it's not like me sitting down in a tournament and trying to beat the other guy. It's not like that. It's and maybe somebody looks at it like that in speedrunning, but the truth is, no matter how you look at it, it's not like that at a core. Improving and like getting your time to go down, that's not all it's about.
Yeah.
So like, it will never be this big esports profitable thing. Now, if someone's a content creator and on streaming, and somebody wants to sponsor a content creator that also happens to speedrun, that's fine. But like, I think trying to make it like super competitive and serious in esports, it's like, no, that's not what this is. So
yeah, haven't they tried doing that with Celeste and Super Mario 64?
That again?
Haven't they tried to do that with Celeste and Super Mario 64 though?
Yeah, people have definitely done stuff like this, with big games like those. Yeah. And I mean, I guess what I wish for in the future in speedrunning is for people to understand that this is just not like that.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard for like, companies to ignore the fact that there are eyes on speedrunning, and of course they're like, oh well, growth is good and this is a way to make growth happen. But it's like, the whole like thing about what is it, speedrunning coaching or whatever it was, like,
yeah
like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I hate like the idea of whatever. I understand like the thought process behind it. If you want to get better at something, a coach is probably a good idea to get better at, like anything that you do, sports, whatever, music, a musical instrument, like whatever, sure. But like, I think that like, it's important to like understand that like, you can just go into the Discord server for whatever that community is and just ask a question, and people would love to help you.
Yeah,
almost always.
That's how I've like always seen speedrun coaching. Or like, at first when like some people started doing speedrun coaching, like I was all weird champ about it, because specifically what you said, like, you could get resources and like people helping you for free, and like, I don't know, it's weird to me. Like, I don't know if I would ever like, offer coaching, because like, I can coach for free, like, like I've been in like voice calls before, and like I've taught like stuff to people, like, for free, like, I don't mind it, like I enjoy it. It's just like, I don't know if I would ever like charge people for that. Like, I understand paying the bills, but I also understand that like, your services shouldn't be as elusive as you make them to be.
Yes, exactly. And like, on top of that, like, when you pay for something, like, I don't know, like, let's say like you pay for tutoring in school. You're paying for tutoring in school to get the degree, to get a job, to get money. Like, that's kind of what it all boils down to. It's like, you get that return later.
Yeah.
You pay for coaching for a fighting game. You pay for it to be taught, for people to analyze your videos, for you to improve, for you to do better at tournaments, to maybe grow social media, maybe to get more money from tournaments, whatever, to get a sponsor, etc. Like, it kind of comes, when you pay for a service, it usually comes with either like something that you're just, is convenient for you for fun, or if it's something to just kind of make more money later. But like, this is, you don't get paid for getting a world record.
There's no guarantee to be paid for world records. Like, yeah.
Like,
even like, we're gonna go back to like card games real quick, but like, there's coaching in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's coaching in Magic, and like, if you get good enough at those games, and like, just like fighting games like Smash, for example, like, there's coaching in Smash too. But like, if you get good enough at those games, then you can like end up winning tournaments and winning money out of that. But like, like, if you get like, top 10 in like a speed game, like, the paycheck ain't gonna write itself,
Yeah, it's like the paycheck quote unquote, it comes from streaming, but streaming is not like, I don't know. I really can't stress this enough. Like, you can be like the best like Smash player ever and never stream, right? And you would still make money because of the tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking at just the hobby, like just the thing that you're putting the time into, and that alone, you could be the best speedrunner at every single game. You will not make a dime unless you streamed and you made content that way. And that is not the same thing as playing the game and improving at the game. Those are completely separate things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so like, sure, like maybe there's a lot of eyes on the competition for these games, and I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to sit here and say that if you weren't top, or if you are top 3 in a 120 star, that like you probably would get a lot of eyes on your stream, like, or whatever. Like, that is true, but what I'm saying is like these are not equivalents, and they never will be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, it makes not a lot of sense to pay somebody for something like that when someone is probably just willing to help you anyways. Now, if you feel like maybe you would need like a bit more like what's it called, like hands-on help for something, then I can understand if something, because I you know, even though I run DKC, right, and like I'd love to help people, but I can't sit in a voice call with somebody for like 2 hours all the time, you know? Like, maybe somebody was like, oh, I'd really want to improve this just for myself or whatever, and just for like, you know, just to figure out how to like catch up with people, and they'd love to, you know, get that. And I could definitely see paying for it for that way, but like, as far as like getting value out of what you paid for, it's basically just like a self-improvement thing. And I feel like maybe people should try to first just ask people for help in like a server before resorting to something like that, because I don't think that the money is just like there or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Certainly. And I guess, what is the question again? Like, the sort of future do you imagine, wish for speedrunning generally? I guess I'll try to answer it real quickly, but like, you know, I think like we're on a good trajectory right now with speedrunning. Like, you know, it's always growing, and like, you know, as long as it doesn't die off, like I'm fine with it. Like I'll be around. I'll be around for as long as it's around.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's just a very fun hobby, and like it's easy to get into, and like you can take it at your own pace. And for me, that's the things that like mattered the most for putting time into it, is that you can take a step away and come back, and it doesn't feel like the end of the world. Like sometimes with like card games, you might not be able to catch up with the meta, or with fighting games, maybe people just get better and you don't get better because you're not playing. So, you know.
Yep. All right. Last question from Neil. Says, would you ever consider doing a 101% completion of Donkey Kong 64?
I tried to when I was a kid and I couldn't do it. There was like a couple of things. And granted, I never looked anything up. I did it all on my own. And like I had really struggled to find everything, but yeah, personally, I would love to. A speed run, I can't say, but completion, rest of it, yeah, I'd do it.
You'd do it? I would do it too. You know, every man has a price.
For the low price of 10,000 bits on Twitch.television.
More than that. More than that. We're going up, boys, to the moon.
To the moon.
But yeah, it's funny that like DK64 is being brought up, because like not even that long ago I was like, okay, I'm gonna put like DK64 on the table as like a sub goal. I was like, if I get to like, you know, have enough like, you know, recurring subs so that I can like apply for like, you know, a Twitch contract or whatever, and then like have a bigger pay cut for my subs, like per sub, then like I will do a DK64 playthrough on my stream. And I was like, that's like the big condition, that's the big goal. And then like I think like the week after or 2 weeks after, like there was this like leak regarding like Twitch stuff that might or may not be implemented in like the near future, where like the, you know, everyone would get a pay cut at Twitch, and it's like, oh, okay, so I guess like, me doing like the thing that I had in mind is like gonna be for nothing like at some point. So all right, well, I guess I won't commit to it right away. But like I'm not against doing a DK64 playthrough overall like on stream. It's just like it's gonna take like the right time to do that.
Yeah, I think I remember you briefly saying once like that. We talked a little bit about like you and how you felt about DK64 a while ago, and I remember you saying something like about how like different it was from the DKC games, on the SNES, and like how that like wasn't like your favorite thing or whatever. But like when you played the Banjo games and kind of like were thinking, oh well, if I look at it more like it's a Banjo game, then maybe I'll feel differently about it or whatever. I think maybe you said something along those lines.
I might have said something like that because I've played like very little DK64 as a kid, but like I've played both Banjo games as an adult, and I've enjoyed both of them. Like in fact, I think there are a lot of parallels between Banjo-Tooie and DK64. Like you have like the warp pads, for example. Like that's a big thing, and like I mean I'm willing to try it. Like as a kid, I did think that DK64 was like way different than the SNES DKC games. Like I went to the DK64 like expecting basically like Donkey Kong Country 4, you know what I'm saying? So I played it and I was like, well, this sucks, I'm out. But like I don't hate the game as much as I make it sound on stream. Like I like exaggerating memes for the sake of like doing the funny thing.
Doing the funny, yeah. The real ones know. Real ones already know.
Exactly. But yeah, thanks for the questions once again, everyone.
Heck yeah. Those are fun ones.
Yep. Keep them coming. Do you have gamer plans for the summer, Tylenol, actually? I wanted to like ask you about that.
So I usually take a vacation at the end of June. My birthday is June 25th. So usually, what I used to do before COVID was I would take a vacation, go to COVID, go to GDQ, go to GDQ,
go to COVID, yeah.
Go to COVID. I'd go to GDQ and I'd literally celebrate my birthday at SGDQ. That's what I did for 2 years straight. And I was going to do it in 2020, and then boom, thing happened. And what's it called? So normally I do that, but then I started to kind of just still take my vacation, but it was kind of like a staycation / maybe I would go somewhere for a few days. I actually last year I went to Seattle.
Oh, nice.
And I got to meet Otto. So
I remember the selfie you guys had together. It was good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really like that place. I really would want to go back again. The weather was amazing.
Nice.
Over summer at least. It was a lot of fun. But for this summer, I'm looking to like a chunk of my Sonic friends. We're looking into having a hangout around August. So I think I'm gonna be going to that. It's gonna be like a week-long thing. I'm just gonna go get a what's it called, Airbnb.
Yeah, so you guys are essentially gonna be doing like your own GDQ.
Yep. Basically, that's what it is.
That's nice.
And so I'm looking into that, saving up money for that right now. And so basically, I think because of that, I'm not gonna take a vacation for my birth week or whatever. And instead, I'm just gonna like take like my birthday's on a Saturday, which is nice as well. So I'm gonna take like that Friday off and just have like a nice weekend or whatever, and do it that way. And then in August, I'm gonna go ahead and try to plan for that and take my vacation, my full week or whatever off for that trip.
Heck yeah!
So that's my big plan for this summer.
I like that plan. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you?
So I don't know if like I ever told you about that, because like I've been like simmering on that over like the last couple years, because like once again COVID happened, but like I wanted to do like kind of a fat road trip across like the United States and Western Canada for like a month or whatever. And like now that I think the restrictions loosened up, like I wanted to do it last year, but I couldn't cross the border by car. By land travel, like you can cross the border. Like nowadays, I did not look it up, but I assume that they're open. So like I just need to like double check to confirm that. But like once I like confirm that, then like I can start planning accordingly. And like I'm probably gonna do that in July. I want to say like
Wow, this is the thing. This is happening.
It's happening. Yeah, I want to make it happen. Like I don't think it's gonna like take too long for me to plan it, so that's why I'm like, okay, like I can probably like get this working like within a month, and then like after that I'm just gonna hit up some people. I'm gonna be like, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to hang out?
That sounds like so much fun, dude. I'm jealous. I gotta do that sometime.
Yeah, right.
Just go around and just drive.
It's okay. I'll stop to your place, gamer.
Dude, if you do, I'll give you a warm welcome.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that's the idea. It's like I wanted to do that, I think, in 2020, and then COVID happened, and then like last year I wanted to do it, and then I couldn't. So like this year is the year. It's gonna happen. It's gonna, on my dead body. It's gonna happen.
That's awesome. Yeah, I usually like to, I don't know, just because of like speedrunning and all the people that you meet, like I just I like, hanging out with the people, right? And like GDQ was kind of the thing to do that, but I'm like, you know what, man, I can just do this on my own. I'm just like, that was what inspired my trip to Washington State last year. Was I was like, dude, I just want to go spend time with people, like, and like over on the West Coast US over there, I have like there's a bunch of my speed friends that live there, so I was like, okay, well, that's like the place I can go and just hang out with people. So that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah.
And like another thing that's kind of fun that I could also do is I could always bring my controller, and like there's a melee scene like everywhere, so like that is always a thing. I could always get that, like, oh, is there a tournament this week or whatever,
Yeah, like you have like kind of that flexibility where like wherever you go, like you can always play melee because you have that connecting yourself to other people that are also in that area.
Yeah, which is something that I've always like heavily appreciated, because like this game is so like active like everywhere basically, and that's like a really cool thing.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know exactly where you live, but I feel like in some cities like the melee scene has to be like huge.
Some places, yeah, like New York and California in particular are usually extremely active.
Yeah, like fucking 200 people locals or whatever.
It's not that big anymore. It used to be, though. There was a point in time where, dude, it was crazy. Like there were some crazy big locals back in like I want to say it was like 2017 maybe, like, or maybe even 16. I'm not entirely sure. It was around that area, but there were some crazy big locals, like, and I think that like part of that's because of COVID. A lot of people enter online tournaments now since we have Slippy, and that's a thing.
Yeah.
But like other than that, it's like kind of slowly, like locals are kind of picking up a little bit more, but people, are a little hesitant about it because of COVID and stuff. So we have, masks restriction, or not restrictions, but you know what I'm saying. People wearing masks in tournaments or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah.
COVID ruining everything once again.
It's so annoying, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but yeah, I totally relate to what you were saying about like I just want to see some people, and like I can't because GDQ is not happening because of COVID. And it's like like I feel like the same thing with the Sonic meetup that you said was in the works for you in August. Like people are at the point where if they want to do their own thing, they will. They're not gonna like wait for like a hypothetical event that may or may not happen because of this like ongoing thing, like.
Yeah, like I one thing I really want to say just to anyone listening is like, if you haven't like seen your friends for a long time, please just try to plan something with them, because like I know it's hard with COVID and stuff, but like we are people. We need our friends, we need to interact with other people. So like if it's been a while, just consider for a moment, maybe, try to do something with your pals for a little bit, like try to plan something with them, because like it really does just like make things so much better. Like you'll just feel so relieved, so happy to get to see people you haven't seen in a while or whatever. Like, it might not be as expensive as you think, it might not be as time consuming as you think. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, for sure. I am I am all about it.
Heck yeah.
All right.
So I think maybe we call it here.
I think it is time to wrap this up. Yep. But before we do, I wanted to, like, I guess make it official because, like, I talked to you in DMs about it. But, like, next week, we may or may not have a guest on the podcast.
May or may not. You will find out next time.
You'll find out next time. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the plan moving forward. We kind of want to have guests on the pod every so often, and I wanted to wait until Vodathon was done before like actually like committing to doing such a thing, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how it pans out. I think, but like, yeah, both me and Tylenol are down with the idea.
It's gonna happen, or it might not happen. We'll see.
Yeah. We shall see. But in the meantime, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we will see you next episode.
Next episode for episode 7, right?
Yeah, 7. I heard the hesitation.
Oh man, heck yeah! Thanks everyone for listening. Rolling out.